It's the InfoWarrior this April 11th, 2010. Thank you for joining me this Sunday evening, only days away from the release of my greatest film, Invisible Empire, A New World Order. To find we have a power-packed program for the next 3 hours. Came well prepared today. We're going to be talking about everything from the global economy, the economy failure in this country, our close ties to China, and much, much more. We're going to get into some technology. It's really going to be a broad show today. But I want to start with this opening story. Eurozone readies giant rescue package for Greece. And essentially what this is are further global bailouts for the bankers. And it's just going to continue and continue and continue as they consolidate power. This one is for $40 billion. So perhaps it'll only end up being 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trillion instead of our 27 or $30 trillion bailout as of right now. Remember, the numbers now are about 5 or 6 months old, and we knew then it was $27 trillion when they told us it was 700 billion. Eurozone finance ministers approved a giant 30 billion euro emergency aid mechanism for debt-plagued Greece on Sunday, but stressed Athens had not been requested the plan to be activated yet. This is their agenda. This is what's going to pass. This is what we will see going forward in the next few months. Now, how does that dovetail into the world economy or the United States economy? Well, the United States economy not doing so hot, folks. 33 states out of money to fund jobless benefits, with unemployment still at a severe high, and they're telling you just under 10%. The reality is it's over 20%. With unemployment still is at a severe high, a majority of states have drained their jobless benefit funds, forcing them to borrow billions from who? The federales, the federal government, to help out-of-work Americans. A total of 33 states and the Virgin Islands have depleted their funds and borrowed more than $38.7 billion to provide a safety net, according to a report released Thursday by the National Employment Law Project. 4 others are at the brink of insolvency. So forget about 33 states, it's 37. It's probably worse than that. And again, the public is told day by day. This isn't a headline. This isn't on the front page of the paper. I had to go to CNN Money in a subsection just to find this out. This has been around since Friday. Who's talking about this? 33 states don't have unemployment benefit money. So they go further and further into federale debt, into globalist debt. And it's showing people are feeling the hurt, even through the multi-trillion-dollar campaign of propaganda to put Obama out there as president of the world, as the savior of the universe, as hope for humanity. Day by day, his job approval is going down, down, down. This is the latest Gallup poll. This is out of Gallup Daily. Gallup tracks daily the percentage of Americans who approve or disapprove of the job Barack Obama is doing as president. And right now, he's at a 48% approval rating. So he's dipping under the halfway point. How much further until he goes into Bush numbers of single or double digits like 13 or 15%, 21%? I don't think we're that far off. I hope in my heart that the well-meaning idiots on the left now realize we're not getting out of the Middle East. We're not stopping our goal for a Eurasian Union out there. We're not solving the economic problems that were promised to us. What we are doing is moving into a more globalist society. And that dovetails into this next headline. U.S. and China ties grow closer. Well, I highlight this in my film Invisible Empire. Before we saw this headline, I've seen a move for years where the United States westernized society is slowly moving towards a more communist, militaristic Chinese society. And they keep that society, but they put you in Levi jeans and sell you Coca-Cola and McDonald's and tell you that's freedom. That's what we're doing right now. It's the InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas. Back after this, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv. Jason Bermas. And as we were discussing before the break, the United States and China are moving closer towards one another. Again, China tells its people Coca-Cola and Pepsi are freedom. McDonald's is freedom. Don't mind the troops on the street, which is a military police state. Don't mind the one-child policies. We're moving towards freedom. And then the United States moves towards this militaristic Chinese society with people like Ted Turner promoting 1- and 2-child policies, saying that China's laws are not draconian. And we get headlines we feature in Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, that say New World Order may be led by U.S. and China. U.S. and China ties grow closer. Chinese President Hu Jintao visits to Washington for National Nuclear Security Summit this week is the latest sign of a warming in relation with President Barack Obama's administration that looks set to continue in the months ahead. And of course, that is true. That will continue. Our relationship with China is far from over. In fact, Senate leader eyes action on China currency bill. Now, of course, China's money has the great Mao Zedong on the front of it. Isn't that great? Mao is such a leader. He was so good. Now on the History Channel, they say, hey, he was great for women's rights. Without Mao, women would have no rights, apparently. The Senate could vote by the end of May on legislation to prod China to raise the value of its currency. Now, if Chinese currency goes up in value, we're going to start paying a lot more for the majority of our products. Why? Because we don't actually make anything in this country anymore. Most of it is made in China. So if the value of their currency goes up, we pay more. Do you understand very simple economics? And we're pushing this. We're pushing this in our Senate. And why? Well, it's to degrade America, bring the United States into a second world status, and promote globalism. This is the true redistribution of wealth. I'm going to start taking your calls, 888-201-2244. Let's go to Julio in Illinois. Julio, you're online. Yes, sir. All right, drop him. Chuck in North Carolina. Chuck, you're online. Yes, sir. Nothing? We got nobody. Chuck, you there?
Hello?
Yes. What's on your mind, Chuck? Yes.
Hey, I just got the new Shooter Jennings today, man, and it is absolutely awesome. Big shout out to Shooter Jennings. For the Tea Party coming up on the 15th, man, I'm really, really hoping that we can get one of your films released early. Either Police State 4 or your film, Invisible Empire. I've got 1,000 DVDs.
Let me tell you right now, we are working our hardest to get Invisible Empire by the date April 15th, 2010. People don't understand. We can't just put it online without DVDs to ship out. So we always give ourselves 2, 3, 4 days padding. Now, I happen to know they did ship to us on Thursday. They are definitely going out time and perhaps a little early. So who knows? Maybe PrisonPlanet.tv members get Invisible Empire at midnight on April 15th or maybe 10 p.m. on April 14th. We don't know, but we do know we are delivering a huge product here, a huge weapon in the InfoWar. We are begging you to have thousands of CDs on hand as soon as this thing breaks so you can take that disc, take the file, burn it for your friends and family, have screenings, because again, this takes you from 0 to 100 on the New World Order in just 2 hours and 12 minutes. It has literally hundreds of high-level political and business officials not only discussing the term New World Order, but what this New World Order is going to look like. And when they tell you they're going to save the world, in fact, they still continue to tell you they're going to save you from climate change as long as the United Nations can take over and they can start taxing you and having these new carbon markets. Jason, it's not about a carbon market. They're trying to save our lives. Really? Is that why Reuters changed their environmental section to green business news? EU carbon prices stall after 5-day rallies. These are the global markets they're promoting right now. And if you don't think they're coming to the United States, check this headline out. EPA to issue rules on smokestack greenhouse gases soon. They can't pass it at the state level. They can't pass it at the federal level. Guess what? The EPA is just going to do it. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency will soon issue rules. They're just going to issue rules. No democratic process whatsoever, completely outside of the constitutional republic we once lived in, folks. They're going to issue rules that will determine which power plants and factories will face greenhouse gas regulations, an agency official said on Tuesday. See, the big corporations that are involved with the takeover and the payout, they won't have to pay these taxes. They'll probably get corporate welfare on top of it. They'll be shown as the good green factories. We all have to go green. We all have to do our part. That's why you need one-child policies, and you can't have 3 cars unless you're going to pay more taxes. And your garbage is going to be regulated, and your home's energy is going to be regulated. Don't keep the lights on. Oh, no. Our carbon footprint is too much. And they're using carbon dioxide as the toxin, carbon dioxide as the enemy. This is what you breathe out. Don't you understand? Humans are the target. The measure known as tailoring rule, no, it's called tyranny rule. Forget about tailoring rule. It's tyranny rule. They are declaring you will pay carbon taxes. You don't have a choice. You're bad. You're a human being.